Hey guys, in this video I wanted to do another live SEO audit of this brand here called Gabby. They sell leather handbags, tote bags, different leather accessories. And a lot of the SEO content I watch, a lot of the SEO content you might watch as well, is all kind of catered towards larger businesses because it's easier. It's easier to kind of talk about different case studies there and so forth. But this business here is a real business from Australia. They've been around for 75 years, and they actually reached out to me at the start of the year to do some SEO for them. We never ended up actually jumping on a call, so we never took the next step. But I just wanted to make this video kind of as a pitch to them, but also for anyone watching this who's maybe at this level where a bit of a smaller business, what you can actually do and how you can capitalize your SEO. So I wanted to just go through one kind of live audit with you here, and hopefully you find some value in it. First of all, the first thing I always do is chuck the URL into Ahrefs, and we got some information here that we can look at. So you can see just from the get-go, over the last 2 years, the SEO has not done too much. It's kind of even declined slowly over the years. And you see they get some spikes every now and then, probably from keywords just jumping up the rankings all of a sudden and then disappearing. And this is pretty common with small brands. Like, you might be getting some decent traffic, but nothing's really happening. It's just kind of sitting there. You might get spikes every now and then because Google's trying to reorganize you, but nothing really changes too much. So we can see the DR is 10, which isn't the worst, but it's obviously on the smaller side. So this is why I wanted to make this video, because a lot of the brands I work with are around this 5 to 15 DR. And so there's a lot of work that needs to be done. The DR is basically a metric that gives us an authority rating for your website. And so the lower the DR basically means that your backlink profile is not that great, but it also then just means that it's going to be harder for you to rank in Google search for different keywords. And so, if you're competing against brands that have DRs of 30, 40, 50, and you've got a DR of 10, it basically gives us this kind of metric that we can gauge how difficult it is going to be for your brand to rank for that keyword. And so there's obviously some work to do there. They've got quite a few backlinks. They've got 5,000 backlinks, 1.1 thousand referring domains. We'll have a look into that. And you can see up here at the moment they've got about 1,000 traffic a month from 1,700 keywords, but only 39 of those keywords in the top 3 positions on Google, which is where the money is made. So just looking at the metrics, there's heaps of work that can be done. So let's jump into it a little bit more and have a look. So the first thing I normally do is check the top pages in Ahrefs to see where most of that traffic is coming from. A lot of the time you'll see that it's 70% from one specific page, which means there's heaps of work that can be done. This one seems to be a little bit more spread. We've got obviously they sell a brand, Cobb & Co, that gets 24% of their traffic to their website, and they're in position 4 for that. Their own brand, they get 200 people a month because of that. Women's wallets, position 12. Backpack handbag, position 3. Leather pouch bag, position 2. So they're not terrible. They're in some decent positions for some of these keywords. And you can see that they get 10 to 30 traffic, and we get down here, it's a bit less. But you can see that even being in position 14, position 12, position 5, it's not enough. If you're in position 1, you get a good portion of the traffic from that keyword. So that's what we would want to do with this brand. So overall, you can see that everything's a bit spread, but obviously the numbers are quite small. They're not getting that much traffic. And so 1,000 traffic is spread across all these pages. You look at how many people are visiting each page, it's pretty low overall. So then I want to look at the keywords that they're ranking for. And we'll keep, it's in Australia. So again, they've got their brand, another brand there. Women's wallets is obviously a good keyword. There's 2,000 people a month searching for that. Moved up in the last, let's have a look, in the last month. So this just gives us what changes are happening. So they lost the wallets keyword, but women's wallets, they gained women's wallets. So it's obviously just Google's playing around with it and seeing what's happening. Come and go bags, convertible handbag, you see it went from 21 to 4. So again, there's a lot of keywords here that have good search volume, if I search by volume, but they're not making the most of them. So here, backpack, 28,000, laptop bag, 14,000, which they do sell, crossbody bag, 11,000, crossbody bag again, travel bag, clutch. So look at how many thousand people searching for all these keywords, and for these big ones, they're in 3rd to 5th to 6th page, even lower down at 70. And then maybe for some of these smaller ones, like 2,000 people a month searching for women's wallets, and they're in the 12th position. So there's a lot of work that could be done. Okay, so I've had a bit of a look at that now. What I want to do is I've understand which pages are ranking and where they're currently sitting. Then I want to actually have a look at their site, just at their on-page stuff, and see just from looking at it if there's things that we can change. So if we go onto their website, the first thing I noticed is everything is quite clean, which is really good. So if you look at their headings here, they've got all their different heading collections here, crossbody bags, shoulders, totes, and so forth. Different travel collections. So we'll jump into those in a second. The homepage is pretty clear, but not real content on here too much. I could maybe add a little bit more just to help send some link authority from this homepage. That's pretty good. Everything's nice and clean. So let's jump in. We'll go to crossbody bags. So the first thing I'm noticing is there's not that much content on the page. They don't really have anything at the top. They've just got their product grid. And then they don't have any content down the bottom. Now, a lot of brands will do this. You'll see this if you watch any of my other videos. It's what most people do. They put their products up in a collection. They leave it at that. We need to add more content here to give Google more understanding as to what is on this page. So for crossbody bags, we can see crossbody bag, they're in the 31st and 42nd position in Google, so they're basically nowhere. And maybe that's because they don't have any content on these pages. So if I actually have a look at that keyword, so this is the top ranking page for crossbody bags. Now, first of all, obviously Strand is a much higher authority website, so that's got to have a factor. But you can see here, they've got content, they're interlinking between other collections there. They've got their product grid. We go down the bottom, they've got all this other content incorporating the keyword crossbody bags, so forth. So it's just basic on-page SEO. You need to have content, otherwise Google doesn't understand what your page actually is talking about. So that's the first thing. Now, the second thing, when I looked at this, I was having a look at their structure, the H1 and everything. And I can see they do have a H1, but I couldn't see it. But then if I actually highlight here, you'll see that crossbody bags is there, but it's in white, obviously, and so it's not showing. Now, I don't know if Gabby have done this intentionally to try and put the keyword there but not have it visible, or if this is somehow just slipped through. But this is not ideal. First of all, Google knows what you're doing there, and it's kind of trying to manipulate the search rankings, essentially. Imagine if you wanted to make it look visually clean, and so you had all this content, but you made it invisible. Then Google understands what you're doing there. They see that you're trying to put content in, but not have it seen, and it shows that you're trying to manipulate search rankings. And so this should be visible. And then as we showed in the other one, there should be content at the top here. You should talk about crossbody bags, why your bags are so good, what kind of brands you sell. And then also at the bottom, having more content, interlinking between crossbody bags and then shoulder bags, totes, backpacks, they're all kind of fall into the same category. So you should have some internal links to all these different pages. So that's the main thing I would change on the page. Now, the benefit of having all this content, not only does it give Google a more understanding of this page, but as I just mentioned there, you can then internally link to all your other pages. Now, internal linking, it's so easy and it has such a huge effect on your SEO because it allows link juice and link authority to pass through your site much easier if you have all these links. Now, there's no content here, so there's no internal links on this page. But if you have a page that's performing really well, say this page was ranking first, it had heaps of traffic, because there's no links here, you're not passing any of that authority onto the rest of your site. If you now have internal links from your crossbody bags page to your shoulder bags and then to your totes and backpacks, and you do the same there, all this authority gets to pass on throughout your site because you're ranking for this keyword. And so then you pass that authority onto the next page and so forth and so forth. So that's another reason why you need content on your pages. And it doesn't have to be ugly. It doesn't have to look out of place. Like, this is a very clean site. We make some very nice, clean content, match the tone of voice of the brand, and then just make sure that it actually fits and it's actually serving the customer with some valuable information. We don't just do this to rank in Google. Obviously, that's the goal, but you need to make sure that you're writing for humans and you're writing for the customer. You're not just writing for the sake of, showing up in the search results. Now, the other thing I noticed when it comes to content, they do have a blog section, but obviously they haven't really touched it for a couple of years. And the blogs are rather basic. You can see there's also like stuff they haven't filled out here. Again, there's no internal links on this page by the looks of it. And there's also not that much content. So that's another thing that we could look at. If we go to the actual blog page, you can see like news, add some description about your blog. Like they obviously haven't really done too much with their blog. But this is a great opportunity to write some good content, internally link, get some backlinks to these type of pages, and then let that flow on to the rest of your site. And what this does is it boosts your topical authority, which is something I've talked about before. I've got a video about it, so you can watch that here. But what this does is it shows Google that you know, or you are an authority in this space about luggage, bags, accessories, leather, and so forth. So that's another thing that we would look at when it comes to content. So just having a look at those things there, they're the kind of two main things that we could change straight away, is putting content on the pages and internally linking through your website. I can guarantee you that that's going to shoot your traffic up and hopefully have an upwards trajectory. So the next thing I'd look at is then their backlinks and what kind of backlinks they do have and what backlinks we could get. Now, there's heaps of opportunities here. Like this is a very good niche in that there's going to be so many blogs talking about purses, bags, tote bags, and so forth. So we could find some really great opportunities there. Let's just see if they have any good quality links yet. So I've only got 6, best links, which is just a metric that I've set up. They're not too bad. They all go to the homepage. Now this one goes to So what I'm doing here, I'm just having a look at what pages they are linking to. It seems that obviously they don't have that many good quality links just from the best links thing. But if we go here, there are some of these that will still be doing some good things. Monique accessories, collection clothing. Again, what I'm looking at here is just the quality of links that they have. Now, it's obvious that they haven't got too many good quality links. They've got quite a few, but I reckon that would be because their domain is so old. Like this is a 75-year-old business. They've obviously been online. I don't know, I can't see the 5 years, but they've been online for a long time. And so naturally, you're just going to acquire links over time. But we can be a lot more intentional with the link building that we do for this brand. And that's going to help boost this domain rating up here, which will help boost everything else, boost the authority and so forth. And so if you tie this all together, right, you build some good quality links, you boost your domain rating, your domain authority, and then you boost some specific pages, probably your homepage, and then maybe some top collections. What you then do from there is write all this content on these pages. So then you can internally link from those pages and pass that authority on to all these other sites. And then finally, also writing blog content to build your topical authority. Like it's, in essence, this is the same thing I talk about with every single brand. There's obviously different things that we do with it, but that is the crux of SEO. We need to make sure we've got good quality links and we've got good quality content. And at the moment, Gabby's got some amazing products, it seems. It's got a nice, clean site, but they're missing out on a lot of those fundamentals, which I think could make a massive difference for this brand. Now, just as an example, you see this spike here. Sometimes this will happen where Google will just randomly upgrade your site's ranking, basically. And so this is what happened for them on the 19th of April of this year. They got to 2,500 people a month traffic equivalent. Like obviously this is just a third-party metric. And then that came shooting straight back down. But if we have a look at that date, 19th of April, we can see that their backpacks collection was ranking in the 6th position for a keyword that has 27,000 people a month searching for it. And so, in theory, you can see there they got almost 1,500 people a month to their website by simply being on that first page. They're not even at the top. They're just in the 6th position for this high volume keyword. And you can see their traffic has shot up there. And so this just gives you an idea as to what's possible with SEO. You think if you can do this for even just 3 or 4 solid keywords that have this much traffic, you get them there, you can be at 10,000 people a month on your site very easily. And if you do this correctly, then you're going to be there consistently. It's not just going to be a quick shoot up and shoot back down and that's it. So that's what I do with SEO. We get you there consistently. We make sure that you stay at the top of the rankings and you continue to climb for all these different keywords. So if you work at Gabby or if you work at any other e-commerce store, make sure you click the first link in the description and you can book a call with me. We can talk about SEO. We can make sure that we get your page and your website's ranking. If not, make sure you subscribe so you can watch any of my future videos and also leave a comment below if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about. Thanks for watching. Cheers.